It's Words and Music at Riverside Revival. Jessie Scott for WMOT Roots Radio with Michaela Anne.
Hi.
Hi. So good to see you.
So good to see you, too. It's been a long time.
It has. And there are just occasional meetings in different venues and, you know, the occasions where you've come and performed for us. And this has happened in multiple cities.
Yeah. I just realized, I said it's been a long time, and I was reflecting on it's been a long time that I've known you. Not a long time since I've seen you.
Well, it's one of those things, you know, popping back in every time you do an album.
Yeah.
Which always is great. And it's been a while, you know. I think we got to Nashville in somewhat of a similar time frame, but I had known you in New York before that. And so happy to have a new record.
Thank you. I'm happy to have a new record. Yes.
How hard is it with a family and all the other attendant things that are day to day to put time together to dig into songwriting?
It's a lot harder. I'm going to be honest. It's such an interesting experience to me because it's so much harder to find the time to then have like the mental clarity and space. But I have found that the work of songwriting is that much richer for me. And the attachment to, I would say, the result has diminished, which I find it's not that I care less, but it has been feeling much more freeing, that the songwriting is more for me. Like when I was younger, how I started out songwriting, and then you get into career path, and then you have hopes and dreams that are riding on your songs being liked by a wide number of people. And in my experience, that can be stifling. And it's gotten very freeing because my time and energy is so limited. And also there's other things in my life now that mean so much more than the result of songwriting, besides just the process of getting to write songs.
Yeah, for sure. It's, I think, less precious in a way.
Yeah.
And you know, I think all of us, especially when we start out, are so interested in how it's going to resonate with somebody else. And that can be a, you know, in your face thing all the time, where honestly letting it go and just living and being and making art and is a whole lot healthier if you're not looking at the reverb.
Yes.
On the back end there.
Yeah. It's hard. I mean, especially in today's world where we have so much access to everything and can go look at, you know, comparison of what other people are doing, but also there's these false metrics of trying to judge ourselves, of evaluating ourselves, of, okay, how am I doing artistically? Well, what's my social media following? What's my streaming numbers? And those aren't the metrics we should be looking at. So I think really being able to just focus on the human experience of writing songs in the moments that we get them, when there's so much happening around us, I have found really precious.
Yeah, it's such a peaceful thing.
Yeah.
You know, really satisfying. I find it interesting, too, that you started doing a podcast, which has to illuminate both things that are in common, but also the oddities when you talk to other people.
Yeah. We started the podcast, I think we're in our third year, the other 22 hours, with my husband, Aaron Schaefer-Hayes, and it's every time, you know, a podcast is like a music career. There's not a lot of money in it. So the work to money ratio is not balanced. And anytime we get overwhelmed by it and it just think like, what are we doing this for? We'll have another conversation and we'll just come away feeling so fulfilled and reassured and inspired and, just getting to talk to people who I hold in such high regard artistically, and also the way that from the outside looking in, they've navigated their career has been so reassuring of just every time it comes back to like the outside success that's not where the fulfillment lies. And grounding in love of the audience and not seeking affirmation, those kind of themes just keep coming back. And this year especially, we've been getting to talk to a lot of kind of people I would consider living legends. I don't know if it will have come out by this point, but we got to have a conversation with Judy Collins, which I just was floored after. She's so wise and incredible. 86, still practicing piano religiously every day, writing another book, going on tour. Like, it's incredible.
I had her in the studio behind you.
Oh, amazing.
And she just did the soliloquy. It was incredible and visual and inspiring, and it was so great.
Oh, my God.
You know, so great to catch up with her. It's wonderful to have heroes, and especially when you meet them and they impart wisdom, and there's no ick factor.
Yeah, that's
Which there can be.
We definitely can be. Thankfully, we haven't experienced that. I've been so it feels like such a gift that we get to have intimate, because we don't really talk about music on the podcast. We're not talking. We had Derek Trucks recently, and a lot of the comments were, we never talked about his guitar playing. We talked about family and life and how that's what the premise of the podcast is, or getting to talk to Mary Chapin Carpenter about all of, just the way that she wakes up in the morning and how she views the world. It's I just never would have I didn't foresee this happening, and it's a really big gift.
It's so awesome.
Yeah.
Seriously. And real heroes. Mm-hmm. I've talked to Mary Chapin as well, and she was so eloquent and wonderful.
Yeah, she's wonderful.
Generous, and it's really cool. And it's what we get to play on the radio, and honestly, the spirit of so much of the music that we play is from generosity. Mm-hmm. It's from love. It's from empathy. And it's part of what makes us so different than other radio stations.
Yeah.
We seek out the human connection. I want to take you back to the last record, because when that came out, you were going through a lot of life changes and turmoil and navigating everything that, that era handed you. I don't know if you want to talk about it a little bit.
Yeah. The last record was 2022, Oh to Be That Free. And I had recorded the record before a lot of life stuff happened. So it was interesting because I shared, they weren't the stories of the songs, but it was the story of the time of the record. But in the process of recording the record, I was pregnant, and at 5 months, my mom had a massive stroke. And that's been just kind of now the story of my life. And I share it every show, and I always say it's because there's a before and an after, and it's changed the way I look at the world, the way I look at music, the way I look at my music career. And at that time, I was definitely, in hindsight, maybe it wasn't the best time to be putting out a record and trying to promote it and stuff and playing shows, because I was so raw and vulnerable and honestly really sad. But I think at this point in my life, I've realized my decisions and choices are not based on career moves, for better or worse. They're just based on living life, sharing art that I create reflected from my personal experience. So that's not for everybody, but that is the only way I seem to know how to operate. So
you're an artist. That is how you operate.
Yeah.
And when it's time to make another record, these things bubble and wind up on paper and wind up getting cut. And let's talk about this new album.
Yeah, these are the days. These songs are actually written in the aftermath of in the process of all of that. Because after I became a mom, and my mom was still, her stroke she's still not, 5 years later, it's been so life-changing. She's still not, physically recovered from it. So it's changed all of our lives. And I couldn't write songs for 2 years. So it was just, all of this also happened during the pandemic. Oof. So the pandemic was like, we don't tour. I kind of just felt like, wait, I went into 2020 with a career and all this support and all this momentum and excitement, and now I feel like it all vanished, and I'm all of a sudden a mother and caretaking my mother, and I don't know how to write songs anymore. So it just was, life was unrecognizable, and I slowly made my way back to songwriting through co-writing with friends. So almost all of these I think maybe all of these songs on this record are co-written with, I think, mostly all Nashville songwriters who are friends of mine. And just kind of getting back to what was happening in life, trying to reflect some of the lessons, the things I was learning to kind of get through all of it. These Are the Days is very much about just finding the holiness and the beauty and the gold in the really challenging, sometimes really boring requirements of what it is to love people, to take care of each other, to take care of whether it's your children, your babies, your parents. And it was just trying to reflect that. I went from being very much out there with my friends and bandmates and on tour to living a life that felt more confined in hospital rooms and our house. And I had to find, and have thankfully really found, the high of finding the beauty in that.
It's amazing.
Thank you.
What are you going to play for us first?
I'm going to play that song. Perfect. These Are the Days. My name is Michaela Anne, and we are going to play the title track off my brand new record called These Are the Days. In the middle of a Sunday, light cuts through the window shade. I watch the dust dance in the air. In the middle of a daydream, my mind is miles away. Tomorrow pulls me from right here. Back then I was running wild as the wind blows. Those nights seem long ago, when I thought I knew a tired man. But now those bills pile on the table, baby's crying all night long. I'm hanging on by just a thread. But if you let go, don't let the worries control. Count your clovers, smell your roses, see how your own grass grows. Yeah, it's a long road, and nobody knows what kind of hope you've had to chase, what kind of wind was in your face, how long it takes for you to see the humdrum is holy. These are the days. In the middle of a morning, flying down a mountainside, finding our treasures in the woods. I used to care about the party, I used to care what they think, but now I know I've got something good. And if you let go, don't let the worries control. Count your clovers, smell your roses, see how your own grass grows. Yeah, it's a long road, and nobody knows what kind of hope you've had to chase, what kind of wind was in your face, how long it takes for you to see just through the window shade, I watch the dust dance in the air. We're going to play another song off the new record called Will You Still Love Me with a Broken Heart? Will you still love me with a broken heart? Will you still want me when I fall apart? Will you still touch me when you see my scars? Will you still love me with a broken heart? Yeah, love is easy when you first fall in, like a willow swaying in the summer wind. There's nothing better than to begin, but then you find the one you can't let go. Time's flying fast even when you take it slow. I give my all to you, but first I gotta know, I gotta know. Will you still love me with a broken heart? Will you still want me when I fall apart? Will you still touch me when you see my scars? Will you still love me with a broken heart? When times get crazy and the scales they tip, when dreams wake up and then life steps in, when I'm at my worst but I still need a friend, and as the fire fades the spark grows dim, and as the darkness takes the light within, will you dig through the ash to find the embers again and again? Will you still love me with a broken heart? Will you still want me when I fall apart? Will you still touch me when you see my scars? Will you still love me with a broken heart? Will you still love me with a broken heart? Will you still want me when I fall apart? Will you still touch me when you see my scars? Will you still love me with a broken heart? This song is called We're All Good. Sandy was a straight A girl, everybody knew. She'd light up every high school hall she'd go walking through. Wise beyond her years, she'd find the right thing to say. If you'd done something wrong, she'd make the shame go away. anyone could disappear when those shadows come around. Well, you might lie, but you're no liar. You might cheat, but you're no cheater. Sometimes people don't do the things they know they should. We're all bad, we're all good. One minute you're a savior, then you're building back your trust. While falling out of favor, you learn just what we're capable of. Oh, you might lie, but you're no liar. You might cheat, but you're no cheater. Sometimes people don't do the things they know they should. And forgiveness feels much better than you think it would. We're all bad, we're all good. Oh, we're all bad, we're all good.
We're all good. Michaela Anne is our guest in the studio for Words of Music here at Riverside Revival for WMOT number 1. These songs are amazing.
Thank you.
Number 2, the artists that you brought with are amazing.
Thank you.
Who are they?
Lauren Balthrop is singing, and she also plays keys, not today, but she plays keys. Sometimes she plays guitars. She's a very talented woman and also a singer-songwriter in her own right. And James Paul Mitchell on guitar and other vocals as well.
Your harmonies are angelic.
Thank you.
They're so good.
Thank you.
I mean, that's something you just can wrap yourself in the love of, basically.
Yeah.
Which is such a gift. Thank you.
That feels like what they're doing for me.
Now, this record represents even yet a new chapter, one that is self-driven.
Yeah. I got out of my record deal. For the last 10 years, I think all of my records were put out with indie labels. And I'm really thankful for that support and everything I, gained from those experiences. But something shifted in me that I didn't like the system and with which I was operating anymore. I wanted to own my own masters. I wanted to have more control in the long term over my records, which when you're young and starting out and you just desperately want any help to get your foot in the door, you can sign away things that you don't realize might impact you down the road with your life's work. So I created my own, or I revived my record label name that I had established 12 years ago when I thought that's what I would be doing, self-releasing, but then I ended up signing record deals. And I did a Kickstarter, which has also felt really incredible because it connected me to the people who support my music in a way that I didn't have that experience of when you're just posting online and streaming. So now I just have such this tangible relationship with so many of these supporters. And yeah, it feels really, it's been fun, thankfully, which was my goal. I just wanted to have fun again, putting out records.
You also have a background actually on the record label side of things.
Yeah.
How has that factored in to this new era?
Yeah, I went to school in New York City. I went to the New School for Jazz, and my last semester of school, I interned at Nunsuch, and then they offered me a job. So I started working for them before I even graduated. And that was an incredible experience. But I think in my younger brain, I thought like, oh, you can't be good at the business side and good at the artist side. It's one or the other. So I went through my whole identity evolution, and now it feels really empowering to have some of those skills that I learned there. An embracing of spreadsheets is really helpful. And also just really seeing the value in knowing how to run every aspect of your business as an artist, that they really go hand in hand, and there's creative aspects to both.
How has your time been in Nashville?
My time in Nashville has been, how has it been? I don't know. I mean, we've been here 12 years, and oh man, it's been a lot. It's been a lot. It's been a lot of life.
Yeah.
And Nashville is so different from when we first came here. I have made some of the best friends in the world here in Nashville, and a lot of them are all musicians, and I'm so thankful for that community. Yeah, it's been a growing process. We are leaving, and I'm like equally excited and very sad, and feel this, like I've said, I feel like a snake shedding skin for the last several years, and I feel like my skin is at the bottom of my ankles, and leaving Nashville is like the last step of saying goodbye to this self that I've been for the last decade. And so thankful, and will be very excited to come back and visit.
Yeah, it's not far.
No.
It's not far. And
Yeah.
there's buses and planes and
Trains and yeah.
Is it hard to tour?
Is it hard to tour with
For you,
kids?
yeah.
Or yes. Yes. It is, and not in the ways that I thought it would be. I thought it would be hard to tour just because of the logistics, which the logistics are an added layer, but it's hard to tour now because I don't want to be gone the way that I used to want to be gone. That's been the challenging part of reconciling. I used to be someone who I would have been on tour all the time. And I still love it so much. I love storytelling in person and being with people. I do not enjoy making videos and posting on my phone. That's not the way that I like to connect musically to people. So the live experience is really what drives me. And it's tricky in these early days, because it's like I'm split in two. I love performing and sharing songs, but then I don't like to miss bedtime.
Truly. Well, there's different ways to do it,
Yeah.
And like back in the day when you go out for 3 months, I don't know that you did that, but even going out for a month or whatever,
Yeah.
it's weekends. You can do a long weekend. You
Yeah.
can vector in any direction and go have some wonderful shows and then be back for Sunday night bedtime.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I used to do, I think the longest stretch I did was 6 weeks. And I would
That's
sometimes do
long.
6 weeks back to back. And part of this era of my life is also just making decisions based on what I want to do versus what I think we're supposed to do to try and gain success. So when you're told, like, well, you got to do a cross-country headlining tour, you got to do it in this amount of time, and no, I don't. I can do 5 shows here and there, and being in a place that I understand that might not garner the level of success that I had maybe dreamed of in my younger days, or that certain industry people think is, the bare minimum to be worthy of investment. And I'm okay with that right now.
And the other part of that, too, is that illusion is really hard to attain. And I think in terms of how much easier, decades ago it was to become a household name if you had the label and you had the manager and, you had the support. But even with the people that you know their names, I can't sing but one Lady Gaga song. It doesn't penetrate.
It's very different.
I don't know that, having that as the North Star is the end all and be all that it used to be. And I think that for somebody who's an artist, as you are, being able to continue to make art, to play your craft, and figuring out how to sustain that is way more nuanced.
Yeah.
And way more possible.
Well, definitely. And I think that there's so much conversation about how hard it is to just be a working class or middle class musician in this world. And it is. But also the understanding that that's what most of us would be happy with. We're just like, a lot of us aren't trying to get massive levels of stardom. And yeah, I've grown to feel really grateful for, it's tiresome to just constantly be trying to level up. And I think that can be framed as complacency and not ambitious. And I feel really, as someone who has had ambition and success as a driving force in my life, it feels really nice to be trying to keep that in check, that's just one aspect of life. And it's really wonderful to be able to play songs and come to a radio station and maybe play shows to, 100 people here and there and get the occasional big festival and still have a nice family life and not be gone all the time. And I will say also, talking on the other 22 hours, I feel lucky that I have such a bigger glimpse behind the curtain to understand the sacrifices that come with higher levels of success, and knowing nothing is black or white. Like you said, it's so much more nuanced of how to build a beautiful, fulfilling life.
And doing it for decades.
Yeah.
Is kind of the goal.
Yes.
I look at Emmylou, and she's
Yeah.
gone through the twists and the turns of, the Star Maker machinery, and
Yeah.
to still be making music that is meaningful to her all these decades later, and to look back at this, each pearl on a string of the eras, and know that, it's represented who you are at that given moment, I think, is a really wonderful way to live.
I do too. And for those of us who think Emmylou Harris is a goddess, like we think, oh, she's just had this legendary career. But the reality is she's had ups and downs too. She's had times where ticket sales have dwindled, and is it over? And, how do you keep going? And that's the reality for everybody.
Yeah. And times change. I mean, we remember when Johnny Cash was, thrown to the curb basically by the labels, and, with Rick Rubin coming and reinventing and having that chain of amazing albums in his later life,
Yeah.
Is such a blessing. But
Yeah.
I'm sure that when he was ousted by the labels, and your music isn't appropriate for radio any longer, and, you're old and in the way,
Yep.
it has to be devastating, especially, again, because of that reverb of, this is what the world thinks of me after you've poured your heart into it,
Yeah.
It can be really cruel.
Yeah, and I think there's a difference between understanding what is valued commercially in industry and what is valued in real life artistry. I'm not only interested in young, beautiful artists who are telling stories. I mean, I am interested in that. I'm interested in people, but I'm increasingly interested in people who've lived decades and have experienced great loss and come back from it, and all of those things that when we idolize youth and that's the only thing that we invest in, we're really missing out on great depth that, we don't even need to get into the conversation of AI and all of the things that we're being told is going to take over. Those are loud voices that might be in the capitalist system, but I think really nurturing these communities with places like WMOT as well is like, they exist, and we can find them and nurture them.
And we have an audience that is avid and hungry for these voices, for your voice.
Yeah.
It's so great.
Yeah.
We're here to actually do the counterpoint to the AI and the overproduced, and to strip it down to the meaningful and, from the, I like to say, sublime to the ridiculous. Every song can connote something along the way. They don't all have to be heartfelt. They can be funny or anything else. So, we get to really represent life and all the emotions. And I thank you so much for what you do and what you bring to us.
Thank you. Thank you always for supporting my music as well.
Thank you. Michaela Anne for Words of Music for WMOT comes to you with support from the Bow Foundation and George Bodecker.